Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Bolt Blitz Uncut. I'm your host, Booga Peters, coming to you live from the Section 8 studios, joined by our Monday co-host, my guy, the one and only Burt Grossman. Burt, how you feeling? I normally don't ask that, but I really want to know tonight.
I feel like I always do. Like, I'm old, man. I feel like shit. What do you think I feel like? I drink and I'm old. I feel like shit.
Well, when you drink and you're old, it means you're still living, which I appreciate all of that. We're going into the NFL draft. We're just a few days away, Burt.
I know.
Enough conjecture, enough with the fucking mock drafts. We're tired of that bullshit. When I look at you and I've talked to you, obviously pre-show, what was it like on your draft day? And tell us if you could, and we don't need to know about the cars you were offered, but we'll get to that too. Tell us what your initial thoughts were going into draft day coming out of Pitt.
Oh, God. You know what? I mean, back then, I think a little more accurate than now because, you know, back then everybody was 4 years or 5 years. Everybody was 21 or 22, whatever it was. There wasn't 27-year-olds. There wasn't it. So you really kind of were slotted in and you kind of knew where you were going to get drafted. Some people were delusional and didn't pay attention to it and thought they were going to be first rounders and they weren't. But, you know, the top 10 guys pretty much knew who the top 10 guys were, just where they were going to, you know, end up going in and out of. For instance, you know, the second pick of the draft that year was Green Bay. And instead of taking Barry Sanders, they take Tony Mandarich. Yeah, so imagine that. You have Barry Sanders on the board and you take him. So there was weird stuff like that. But for the most part, we knew who the top 10 players were going to be. It was just where they were going to go and who they were going to go to. I had Chicago was very high on me. So they were trying to trade with San Diego, their pick. They had the following pick after that or one or two after that. And they were trying to do a trade with San Diego, and it didn't work out. And I actually got a call from Mike Ditka in the morning saying that they didn't work the trade out and they weren't going to pick me. So that's what I woke up to. And then it's on TV. I was in Philadelphia. I got invited. I didn't go to the draft in New York. I just watched it at home. And it was weird because the Chargers, I didn't know the Chargers, you know, were the Chargers then, you know, what a fucked up organization it was. I just thought they were Chargers. I grew up watching, you know, Dan Fouts and Charlie Joyner and Wes Chandler and Chuck Muncie. But it was weird because everybody, you know, they come out on the stage and everybody gets a phone call before. So, you know, before they go up and call the thing. So the Chargers never called me. So I'm like, oh, shit, I ain't going there. Maybe I will drop to Chicago. Phone doesn't ring, anything else. I'm watching TV like everybody else. They're like, Chargers, select. And they took all the time. Like there was like 8 seconds left. Took all the time. Chargers, select Burt Grossman, defensive end out of Pittsburgh. And I'm like, they didn't even fucking call me.
And you're like, shit, I'm in San Diego? Let's go.
I never got a call from them. Then I got calls from like a couple reporters. I think it was Clark Judge and TJ Simers back then. Remember those two?
Oh, yeah. Clark Judge is still floating around somewhere unless he passed away.
No, he's floating around somewhere. I think TJ passed away last year.
Yeah, Clark's TJ did. But Clark is still somewhere with CBS. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, he is. They called me before the Chargers called me. And they're like, oh, are you coming out? And I'm like, I don't have a ticket or anything. I got a call like a fucking hour later from the Chargers.
And they're like, hey, by the way, we drafted you in the top 10 and, oh, you deserved it. We can't wait to see you. No, they were just like, here's your ticket and we can't wait for you to be here.
No, here's your fucking coach ticket. Cheap fucks.
Did they give you a fucking coach ticket?
Coach, after drafting me with the 8th pick, I get put in coach.
You're a top 10 pick at not just top 10, the 8th pick in the NFL draft. And they're like, here's your ticket, sir.
Coach, I'm surprised
behind everybody else.
A fucking Greyhound bus pass or something.
Oh God, that doesn't surprise me. So literally, you already kind of explained it though. You had no clue the Chargers were even interested in you.
No, I did. They flew me out like I want to say a week or two before the draft, and I spent like 2 days here, like talking to the coaches and going over stuff. So I didn't know positive they were gonna, but I was pretty sure they would, or they would trade that pick to somebody that wanted to. I'm pretty sure I was going to go 8th. I just didn't know whether they'd trade the pick or not. And like I said, they were trying to with Chicago, but it was weird because the trade involved like Jim McMahon. They wanted Jim McMahon. And then they ended up signing Jim McMahon anyway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he did all of respectfully to the guy who had a fork in his eye, apparently climbing up a fucking brick wall and then ended up in Taco Bell commercials. Listen, I'm a lot older than y'all think. I just remember and
Whoa.
know. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate you for everything you did for me as far as injecting some of the weirdest fucking NFL knowledge ever. But the McMahon thing, he didn't have a great run. I don't think he even threw for 1,500 yards.
No, I don't even think he. When you get replaced by Billy Joe Tolliver, you're not on a good run.
BJT. Oh God, yeah.
But that was, I mean, the best part of the draft was getting a call from Ditka, but that was the
yeah, unless it doesn't come to fruition. But damn it, at least he reached out to you, and that meant that he cared and he thought that you were somebody who could ball. And if for those of us who are unaware, there are billions of us who have never gotten a phone call from Mike Ditka, and we've all wanted it. And you got one, yeah. And you look good, and you got the great tan, and you're there in San Diego.
You know what? I got a call from Burt Reynolds one time too.
Tell me more.
Well, that was in high school when I was getting recruited, and he wanted me to go to Florida State. So he called up, and then I had that crazy high school recruiting stories. Got a call from him. Who else did I get? I don't know if it was him because this is what happens. I went on, thought it was him all these years. I go to Pitt, and I'm like a sophomore, junior, and we're recruiting this kid. And he's like, call this kid up and tell him you're Bill Fralick. He's offensive lineman. So
that's how you got me with Eric Allen. Keep going.
We're sitting in the coach's office, and I pick it up the phone and pretend I'm Bill Fralick trying to recruit this offensive line guy. So I'm like, that, you know what? It might not have been Burt Reynolds. I don't think
so. For the 0 people listening right now, but for those of you who tune in later, Burt and I have been kind of canoodling, respectfully, for a long time. And he gave me the a phone number for a now Hall of Famer defensive back, Eric Allen. Philadelphia Eagles. He played for a few teams. I think the Saints as well. And there was one more.
Raiders.
Thank you. So we had a show and I called him and I pranked him. But what I did learn from that is, boy, they really don't like it when you fucking follow through with these prank shit. That being said, Burt literally just set me up for failure.
You just set me up for failure. I'm going to get a fucking call from Eric Allen this week and be like, you're the only one who gave me his goddamn number? Thanks.
Oh, dude. Nah, Eric is not paying attention to this fucking show. But I will tell you, he literally went at me for like 30 seconds and we had it live on air. It was on WBLZ, W Balls. That's like every fucking network I've touched. Not because of me. It's completely defunct. But it was a very interesting show. And I was like, this motherfucker. And I never told you about it because clearly, as I pointed out ad nauseum, you're one of my favorites of all time. And I'm not going to come at you and be like, ooh, you shouldn't have fucking done that to me. And then I'm like, hey, be my Monday co-host. Way down the road.
Wait, what was the prank? What was the prank called to Eric?
I literally just called him and said the fucking refrigerator running shit. And we were all lit. It was literally right when, speaking of 420, it was right when dabs came out. And that was before like the mainstream dabs. So we had done a bunch of dabs and everyone's like, let's do this. And you know me well enough. I decided I'd be Mr. Big Time. It's like, hey, NFLer, Burt Grossman, we're about to host this NFL show. And we had a bunch of fun pranks for everybody else we talked to that were non-NFL players. And we did this shit where we were going to walk around the table. And then it got to me and I was like, well, what if I told you we can prank Eric Allen? And then was like, no fucking way. And by the way, for those of you who are not paying attention, he was just inducted into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, not the NFL. Sorry, just the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Is that deservingly so? And is it partially because he was pranked by me via you?
Yeah, probably because you got pranked. I mean, I think it's deserved. He's one of my favorite all-time players.
Incredible player.
Sure. I thought he was as good as Deion Sanders, to be honest with you.
There's nothing wrong with saying that, by the way.
Yeah, in the same category, at least.
I love that you say that because nobody else will say that. Deion could run, but who's he tackling?
Nobody.
Eric Allen tackled everybody.
I would say, I mean, Eric Allen.
Head in the chest, at the knees, at the feet. I loved Eric Allen.
Yeah, him and Rod Woodson.
And he had the weird colored eyes, too. Man, I got you, man. I know.
Yeah, they're like hazel or something. Green hazel.
It was weird. It was a little pretty, if you will.
It was kind of pretty, yeah.
It was not. It was nice to see somebody like that. And I listen. For those of you who don't understand, played, coached, officiated, did a little PFWA, and then all the other shit on Mountain Country 107.9. I'm just not your normal co-host to the Burt Grossman over here, who's also my co-host. But we do run a pretty tight ship here. We just kind of fuck around and have a little more fun than you guys are used to having. Burt, this NFL draft, this 2026 draft for the Chargers, they only have 5 picks right now. That is up to Joe Ortiz and the real man in charge, Jim Harbaugh. 5 picks. Is it enough to figure out what the holes need to be filled here with this roster? And how important is it that they nail the first 2 picks?
I mean, the first 2 picks have to be O-line first, D-line second. I mean, all 5 picks should be linemen, to be honest with you. That's really the only spot. I mean, you could argue wide receiver if somebody falls and you really want to get somebody, but you know, you can't protect them because of wide receiver. It would all go to linemen if it was me. And because they didn't really address it in the free agency like they should have. I mean, they did with the center, but nowhere else. So D lineman, Tart, yeah, but they didn't really go out and get anybody else really that's any significance.
Oh, they're paying Dalvin Tomlinson $7.5 million next year, and it's for me that's crazy because he's a 2-down player. I watched guys like you. I grew up watching guys like you that played fucking 3-4 downs no matter what the situation was going on, and then you have a guy like Dalvin Tomlinson. They're paying $7.5 million to play. It's probably more second down than first, if I'm being completely honest, because you don't want to give up what's going to happen on first down. That being said, I'm not interested in the Chargers adding at least somebody early within the interior defensive line. I think it all needs to be focused on the offensive interior line. And when it comes to 22, if you do not get the guy that you want at 22, then it looks like you need to trade back and make sure you finally fucking give in and protect that. I don't know, that number 10 guy, that Justin Herbert guy, all hitched to Madison Beer, or whatever the hell her name is. Like, I think it's a pretty done deal that when you pay him $250 million, it's to say we should protect him, but I didn't mean to do that, but they should protect him. They have Cole Strange slotted in there. He was an overdrafted player by Bill Belichick. And I'm tired of hearing people like, oh, Bill Belichick drafted him. Shut the fuck up. When you can't block and you score poorly and he's in a Mike McDaniel offense, and the Mike McDaniel offense doesn't need guards. Every offensive line needs guards, especially if you have a special quarterback like Justin Herbert. How important is it for the Chargers to add to the interior offensive line?
That's the only priority I would say. But I agree with you. If the guy's not there, I mean, you still got to be at 22. You can't reach. If the guy's not there, if you don't have a guard or an offensive lineman that can start day one of his career, you don't do the pick. You trade it away. I mean, that's
trade the fuck back and gain more. Again, like Burt just said and alluded to, they only have 5 picks. Thank you, Ortiz. By the way, it's so cute that everybody's just like, oh, they only have 5 picks. Ortiz was the general manager last year. And like, oh, we're just ignoring that. So they need more picks, especially if they actually want to be what Harbaugh claims to be, this O-line centric building. This, competitors welcome. They signed Cole Strange early enough in free agency to where it's like, I'm not sure that competitors welcome thing is actually being respected when it comes to what they're going to do at right guard.
Wait, how much is Cole Strange getting paid?
It's almost $7 million. I know you don't want to hear that shit. Oh,
God damn.
He even went on a show and said he thought he was being overpaid. I'm not going to, maybe I'm wrong. I will just say that Cole Strange is even questioning how much he's getting paid. It's a weird situation because
weird as shit.
We got to see Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. And Joe Alt looked to be limping into what is the offseason activities today.
OTLs?
A little bit. I don't even know how official it is, to be honest. But
was he limping for real?
Yeah, a little. Hold on. But what people don't understand, and you will understand, as will I, us big cats, when we have injuries, when we wake up in the morning, it's a little hard to get going.
Yeah, it is.
Even if we hit that, listen, if we even put that foot on the gas and we drive to the facility, it's a little hard to get that thing fucking moving until we get out there. And we're starting
Not
to
when you're fucking 25 years old, it's not.
Yeah, well,
It is for us, but not a 25-year-old.
He roasted both of his fucking ankles. But that being said, what we did get to see after him gingerly, maybe limping into the facility, is what we did get to see is after he started to go through the rest of the workouts, which I would have expected to be quite honest, he looked fluid. He looked like he could get it done. And as much as we've all relied on all these podcasts, all these shows, every prognosticator out there, seeing Joe Alt be a little bit fervent when it comes to him attacking his offseason regimen and being out there and doing what he's doing, we got to see Rashawn Slater do the same thing. He's already been working out at the Bolt for a long time. I'm not suggesting that we get to justify the takes out there about, oh, Slater's healthy and Alt's healthy. We're kind of navigating towards that being the thing. Burt, you played on two different very good teams and a couple really bad Chargers teams. But when it comes to having bookend left tackle and right tackle, how important is that to the salvation of not just your quarterback, but your running game?
It wasn't important for me because I have Billy Joe Tolliver. Fucking, you can put anybody out there. It doesn't fucking matter. But if I had Justin Herbert, it would be priority number one. Priority number one.
Yeah.
I mean, if I said it last week, people talk about, oh, we need a 4-2 guy. We need a weapon. We need somebody over the top. They're talking about a 40-yard route against an edge that has to go 7 yards to stop that. And no matter how fast you are, you're not going to beat an edge that has to go 7 yards if your tackle sucks. So it makes no difference what you run and how far down the field, and you're going to stretch the field. You ain't going to stretch shit because that edge is going to take you where you have two bad tackles at 7 yards. It's a 7-yard race for him.
You played inside, you played outside. My biggest concern, and I hope that the rest of the Bolt fam, for whatever reason, if they're listening right now, if they ever decide to tune in, how important is it to protect your quarterback up the middle? You've been that guy creating disruption up the middle. You played it IDL, you played on the edge, you were moved everywhere because you were incredible. That being said, these guys don't do a lot of that anymore. It's a bigger O-line now. It's a different league. When you see that as far as how it affects your quarterback, how important is it as a defensive O-lineman, and then a defensive lineman, and then as an interior lineman, that you actually have somebody who can do their job?
I was fortunate in my first couple of years. We had a lot of pass rushers, and then the new coaches came and had a different scheme where they wanted bigger guys in the middle and they weren't great pass rushers. So it does hurt you on the edges. I mean, because they step up if the guys, in the middle can't do anything. So I could beat somebody on the edge. And if I have two good defense tackles, quarterback has nowhere to go. It's a sack. You have two defense tackles or one defense tackle is not good and gets no push. All he has to do is one step up and he's out of the reach of the sack. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I just don't, it's weird now because like you said, there's like one down players now. There's two down players now. We all had to play like 3 downs, and then you got to be on fucking punt return on top of it. Or, it's always defense stay. Like, God damn. But that was normal. I can't live in a world where Cole Strange makes $7 million a year.
Oh, it's a weird year. So,
and you know what's going to happen? Mark my words. They'll draft a defensive inside guy, tackle, like maybe second round, maybe third. He'll come into camp. They'll think he's the greatest thing ever because he'll beat the shit out of Cole Strange every day, and then he'll get in a real game and get fucking boat raced.
And then and then all the fans are going to be like, "Oh, well, we knew
what happened to him." Yeah, he was great against Cole, and then he'll go against another guy and get fucked up.
Burt.
Yeah,
I'm with you 1,000%. What's weird is this is one of those draft classes that kind of fits towards the needs of the Los Angeles Chargers and what they have the opportunity to quote unquote fill in. I really have no idea what they're going to do. They have 22. We would love for them to trade back. Are you a guy that's in favor of a trade back, or do you think you stay at 22 and just grab a BPA, your best player available.
It's, you know what? Here's the problem, and this is a scary part with them, with relying on their first round pick to be a guard to start. You imagine it. I mean, say you need an edge, and you draft Abdul Carter with the second pick, and you look at the end of the season, and he has a half a sack and 10 tackles on the season as his rookie, as a second pick. Now, if you have him penciled in, and you had him penciled in as your starting edge, and he was going to be a force, and you just can't tell if it's going to happen or not.
Well, especially not if you keep him around for year two, because it's like, oh, maybe he gets one. Maybe he gets 1.5. Like, oh, thanks for the half a sack and the literal.
He wants Lawrence Taylor's number. But I mean, my point being, they thought they had that issue or that hole solved. I mean, that was done.
I forgot he wanted 56. He really tried to fight for it too.
Yeah, but in the point of the guard, the left guard, the Giants last year had that not even penciled and penned in as their answer on the edge, and it was nowhere near their answer, even though it was the second pick. So you can't go in with your 22 pick saying, I'm going to get a guard, and he's going to start, and he's going to be great, and I'm not going to have a problem ever again at left guard. That's not going to – it might happen, but it's a 50-50 shot.
Grossman is literally laying out his most schematically perfect show that he's done here on Bull Blitz Uncut. I'm your host, Booga Peters. Thank you all for tuning in right now. It's nice to see a few folks show up here late. Burt, you literally told us how what it was like for you to be drafted. When I look at this Chargers draft class and what they have to do, it's Ortiz, more importantly, Harbaugh. They have 5 picks. I mean, I don't know if this is a make or break year for Jim, but I do feel like it might be for Ortiz, as in Joe. How much pressure is on both Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz, in your opinion, as far as nailing this draft, considering they only have 5 picks?
I don't know if there is. We bring this up every week. There's been since Harbaugh got here, the glaring issue has been the offensive line. It's just something they never go into free agency and really go at it and go deep. And they got money. They just don't go after it to fix it, which is shocking to me. And 22nd, do you get somebody great? Maybe my year 22nd was Steve Atwater, I think. So he turned out pretty good. Yeah, he turned out pretty good.
6'3", and he killed everybody. The hit on Koye, I still see it every day in my dreams.
So yeah, you can get it. I mean, he might be a Hall of Famer, but I mean, go through the last 50 years, there's not a lot of 22s in there you even know or have heard of.
Oh, man, I could do it. I just don't have if Taylor was here, she would already have them laid the fuck out, and we'd be like, oh, those guys were good. I will say this, but I need to do this while Burt's here. What Burt was referencing was this Steve Atwater of the Denver Broncos hit on Christian Okoye coming up I think it was probably 12 personnel, but they still ran Okoye right up the gut. And I'll tell you right now, Atwater filled that gap, and he stole his lunch money. And Okoye I've seen it on the what's the name of the show? It's one of the best. It's literally might be the best show. It's the one with Matt Barnes, the basketball player, and Steven Jackson, all around, or where the fuck they're, I don't know, whatever it is. But that show, they show that, and even Okoye was like, "Woo!" I didn't really know what was going on. Yeah, hit him so hard that the Nigerian Nightmare was like, I really don't know what happened in that moment, but he tried to drive forward. That was a different time. It was a different league, in which is literally setting me up. Burt, you played in that league. You played in that era. You were a part of – it didn't matter if you were on offense or defense. You were getting your bell rung if you're really doing your job. How soft is the NFL right now, and is there a chance for these guys to really justify, as they're already doing – it's about to be an 18-game season. How much sense does that make, and how much should they increase the roster, and then also, of course, the yearly salaries?
It's a money grab, but you know what? It's so watered down now. I think, honest to God, I don't even know if they're going to be wearing pads in 5-7 years from now. It's either going to be robots.
It might not be.
It's going to be professional flag or robots in 7 years.
That's bullshit. Come on now. Give me some hope. Give everybody out there some hope, man.
It gets softer
There are
every year.
players like you out there. I know there are. We see them. We got Jennings Dunker. He's got the best fucking mullet of all time. There are some guys that we can get out there and we can get behind. But I'm telling you right now, I start to lean towards what you have to say when it comes to it might be robots.
I do. And I don't think, the way players are now, like you take Junior Seau, he could play today athletically, everything. The players are so much bigger and faster and athletically, and they train for it that I think if you let them hit like we hit in the 90s, there would be like people dying on the field maybe. I mean, I think it's gotten to that. And they pay them so much more, you have to protect your investment. If I'm giving $200 million to a player, I don't want him fucking hurt. So the only way not to get him hurt, make the shit soft. Cole Strange makes more my whole career earnings double what Cole Strange makes in a year. You got to protect Cole. Protect that man at all costs.
But he's supposed to protect somebody else. God damn it. We're in a weird position. It's a juxtaposition of how this NFL.
No, it's only going to get softer. They're not ever going to be, let's get more violent. Those days are gone. You ever watch like the intros, watch like the NFL intro for the season, like 1989 or some shit? It looks like some like fucking Mad Max or some shit like that, like or Road Warrior or some shit. I mean, the shit
you love it. Listen, hold on. You segue to so much beautiful shit to set me up. I will tell you what I loved about every intro, like in the late 80s, the early 90s, the mid 90s, the late 90s, in the early 2000s, is it really was just like, hey, we're trying to showcase these cats are bad enough to be on the fucking field. It was a different game. Mr. Roger Goodell. Boy, yes, he changed it significantly. But it used to be a thing like when we showed up on the I'm gonna segue into something completely different. When we showed up on the playground, like you literally had to hit people and like hit them hard. It wasn't about making everybody miss on the playground. It was like if I didn't actually make plays on defense, nobody gave a fuck. Oh, you made everybody miss. Who'd you hit? Like, motherfucker, well, I'm hitting people now. And CTE later, we'll see what happens. But it's just the NFL now, it's a completely different league. It's about flashy. It's about celebrating. I mean, Burt, they're literally allowing teams to run into the end zone. I know you can't even imagine. Run into the end zone as a group to celebrate one guy making a tackle. What the fuck would have happened if Marty Schottenheimer would have seen that shit?
It isn't, but it's not just football. It's culturally, it's the way it is. LeBron James playing the 90s Pistons. I mean, the way that dude flops and cries, can you imagine?
Don't do that. I live in Detroit. Shut up, man. I got you.
They would have killed him.
It's from the former Palace.
Yeah, just different times. I don't know which one's better, but.
Oh, I do. It was maybe it's the non-brain fucking hemorrhaging injury league. I don't know.
But that was funner to watch. You got to admit that.
Well, we listen. We as humans were kind of dialed into the fact that no matter whether or not we want to admit it, the worst outcome is better than us, quote unquote, surviving the worst outcome. So when we watch others go through it, it's a little bit easier to, I guess, digest, if you will. You're listening to Bolt Blitz Uncut here on YouTube because we have not gone to Facebook tonight because y'all are stealing. You're stealing the YouTube views. When I put it on Facebook, everybody comments and runs their shit on Facebook. But Burt and I are trying to make this thing work. And every Monday that we do this show, we would love for you guys to tune in. Please hit that likes and subscribe button and tune in here on the good old YouTube because that's what we're going to do. We tried to cancel, and I say by we, I mean me. Found out some weird shit, so we're going to keep rolling, though. Nah, Burt, we're not getting emotional. Don't you dare look to the side. He does that when it seems like it's going to get serious.
Hey, you know what? We've all found out it's a tranny and not a woman. It's no big deal, man. Let it go. Let it go, man. We've all been through it. We all kissed a tranny we thought was a girl. You're just having a hard time processing it. You're going to have to process it. It was a dude. It was a dude. Let it go.
The irony here is anybody who's a long Bolt Blitz follower, whether it's uncut or anything at the back end, it's like, oh, no, this guy, he was really bad after his divorce, and a lot of beers and a lot of questionable decisions. And they were tall, they were short, they didn't matter what they looked like.
Adam's apples.
No Adams. No Adams. I love you for trying to make me laugh right now, by the way. We've kept this episode running a little bit longer than we expected. Burt, the Chargers at 22.
Guard. It's going to be a guard.
Gotta be a guard. So that being said, you're okay, even if Ioane is gone, that it's got to be a Chase Basantis, Emmanuel Pregnon, or even a Keelan Rutledge. I'm telling you right now, he's my guy at 22, and that's up to you to confirm that or deny it. He's out of Georgia Tech. He's only, 6'4", 330, but he can actually move, and he would fit in a Mike McDaniel offensive run blocking scheme as, I don't know, he's perfect regarding the fact that he fits into the outside zone running scheme.
That'll be the pick then. Georgia Tech.
I'm telling you right now.
I'll tell you, mark it for Monday. If he's there.
If he's there. And so the general consensus is he'll still be there at 55. I'm not waiting. I do not want to sit here and watch my quarter. I'm saying my. I don't do that very often because I don't do the my thing and the we thing when it comes to the Chargers. But I will say that if Keelan Rutledge, or I think it's Kalen, I don't give a fuck right now, honestly. If it's Rutledge or Pregnon or whatever, Basantis, you need a guard. You need a starting guard because I have no faith, respectfully, in Cole Strange. Prove me all the fucking way wrong, please, sir. But give me both of those guards, by the way, which nobody wants to hear. But give me one of those guards at 22 or 55, and then I think that Justin Herbert has a chance. I'm tired of watching the robotic arm. We all watch his hand get pieced together. I know it's not his throwing hand.
But it could be.
Yeah, but, well, it might need to be if they keep getting him killed. Like, why is it that it's just like, oh, well, we taped it together and we got a little Elmer's glue on there? Like, I'm done. What if they just did give it? And again, you have a new offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, and I know what you fuckers are going to say in the comment section after we turn this shit off. Well, the Mike McDaniel offense doesn't need good guards. God damn it, Burt Grossman played an interior fucking defensive lineman for a long goddamn time. What if there were guards? What if there were really good guards, Burt? It would.
If there was, then if that was true, Tua wouldn't have brain damage right now. If that was true,
hey!
And Mike McDaniel will still be the head coach of the Dolphins.
But here we are, and Mike McDaniel is the offensive coordinator, the Los Angeles Chargers. I want to do this right now. This is going to take me a second, and Burt, fucking hang out for a long outro.
Okay.
Big shout out to my guy Burt. He put up with a little emotional distress from me earlier today. I'd also like to point out to my ex-wife. This is weird. Katura, now shut the fuck up. Katura Davis, thanks for being nice and all the happy shit. And then, of course, everybody else who's tried to make sure that tonight would be a good episode of Bull Blitz Uncut. We canceled this and almost every other episode going forward, but I took my head on my ass because Burt's the nicest guy ever, and he's also still one of my heroes. If you guys have not paid attention to us, I get it, but wait till you have my 32 women NFL mock draft coming up right now. We support everybody around here, Burt. I don't give a fuck if you like that or not. We got everything. Burt, the president of the San Diego Strike Force. What was it? 73 to what the other day?
73 to 53, I think, or 56. I don't know, something like that.
Ooh, y'all dusting them. If you're not in tune with that, Burt, how can people get?
And you know what's worse? We were a 3-point underdog. Disrespected us.
And you fucked them up.
Yeah, you're allowed to bet. You should start betting on the games. I'll give you inside info. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh, you can say it here live. Hey, you heard it here. No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna bet because I like betting a little bit of money. This is my guy. When we meet, I'm gonna give you the toughest hug of all time. I appreciate you so much. This has been one of my I'm gonna say it now. Closest friends I've never met. Can't wait to actually give him a squeeze. That's my baby. Love you, brother. We're out for now. Thank you for tuning into Bull Blitz Uncut. We have so much for you guys. So much.
I got ants out here.
We're out.
Oh,
Bye.
we done?
No, say